Once Upon a Time.
Ooh, really?
And it's just 4 little words and it's the start of a video, and people will really want to know how this story ends. It's something primitive in our brains or something that makes us, if we hear those words, we just sit down and say, well, tell us. So even that, at the start of the video, will make people prick up their ears and think, oh, what's this about? So that's a very easy way to start.
I have not heard of that. That's actually great.
Yeah.
Really great. I might have to use that. So when you guys hear me sometime in the future say, once upon a time, just know I got it from Elisabeth. Well, welcome to the Professional Rule Breaker podcast. I am so thrilled that you are here today. We have a really, really great show that I know will help a lot of people. But I'm going to start off with a question because I know that I have suffered from this in the past, and I bet you some of you out there have suffered with the same exact thing as me. So let me ask you this. Are you shy or are you an introvert? Do you hate being in front of the camera, but you know the unstoppable power of video marketing can really take your business to the next level? Well, my guest today is the author and the mentor who has helped thousands of introverted entrepreneurs shine on camera. She went from being a shy single mother to a successful business owner of the top of mind video marketing, and is the author of the Little Black Book of Video Marketing, 7 scripts that will get you clients. So I want to welcome my very special guest, Elisabeth Griffioen.
Thank you. Thank you for having me as a guest.
Oh, I'm happy that you're here. So we have you both on video and on audio. So for everyone that's interested in seeing the video, please go to our YouTube channel so that you can see that as well, because this is going to be a lesson about being on video. So I want to start off, Elisabeth, because I read somewhere that the very first video that you did, you did it in a panic. So what inspired you to go from being in a panic to step out and be in front of the camera?
Well, being in a panic really helped me because I might have never done it otherwise. But my panic was about how I'm going to make money, and I have to stay home a lot as well, and I don't know where to get money from soon. And that helped me step in front of the camera and actually start talking. Yes. And I think it helped me because I knew it was the best, it was the right thing to do. I knew it. So I couldn't wait, and I didn't want to wait any longer. And I knew for sure that video worked. Everybody's saying it, but back then, not a lot of people were doing it. And I thought, I am not going to wait for people to discover me. I'm going to make sure many people know that I am here and I can help them. And I wasn't going to let it happen that I, with everything that I could do to help people, was going to be sit at home and have nothing to do. Or maybe not even being able to pay my mortgage. So I thought, I'm not going to wait anymore.
Okay.
Before that, I was sort of hoping that somebody would discover me and then tell other people about me, let other people do my work. And but by then, I didn't want to wait for that anymore.
I love how you use the term wait, because I think a lot of times when you know that you have to be in front of the camera, you want to wait until everything is perfect, right? You want to wait until your hair is perfect, your makeup is perfect, your background is perfect. And I don't know about you, I have yet to be in front of the camera where everything is perfect.
Not ever going to happen. And the tragic thing is really that we are most critical of ourselves because all the other people who see the video just see you. But we get like, oh, my hair is different, and we don't like, we usually don't like ourselves that much. So then many people do record videos and they never even post them online because they think, oh, I look weird or I sound weird.
Right. Or maybe they record a video and then they record it 15 times, the same thing over and over and over again. And I find, and you tell me what your experience is, that the first time is usually the best, the first or second time, because it's more authentic to who you are. Otherwise, you start stressing out about it and you become a little bit more robotic. So tell me, just in the initial stages, if you're shy or an introvert, and sometimes people that are extroverts have the same exact problem, how do you get over putting yourself in front of the camera?
One of the things is it's by realizing it's actually a social thing. It's not saying, people look at me, I'm nice and like me. It has nothing to do with that. It's about getting in touch with the people that you can help. So it's a way to get yourself out there, even when you can't leave the house. And it really helped me thinking, well, they don't have to find me. They don't have to admire me. I just want them to know who I am and what I'm good at.
So is that kind of like almost like video helps people see who you are and build that relationship with you?
Yes, it's if people have seen you on video, they feel like they've met you in real life. So actually, with video, we use that power, and then you can reach a lot more people with it than if you go travel and try to meet everyone in person.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
what I like about video, and especially as a shy or introverted person, that I can do it by myself, and there's nobody in the room when I do it. So everything that goes wrong, no one has to know.
That's right. That's right. And I think that a lot of times people don't know if things are going wrong unless you kind of let them know with your expression, like, or something like that. They'll never know. They'll never know that something just went awry. I've had lights that turn off for some reason in the middle of something, or, the dog will bark, or somebody will walk into the studio or whatever it is. And unless I kind of make a face or whatever it is, most people will never notice.
And if they'd noticed, they would just appreciate it.
That's right. They will. Yeah. They will. Because I think, sometimes the more natural and the kind of like strange things that happen sometimes when you're, on camera can really draw people in, because it's like, ooh, if they can be on camera and that happens, I guess I can do that too.
It is relatable if something goes wrong. So I tend to actually, well, I'm not cutting out all the mistakes of my own videos. I'm leaving a couple of them in because that will give the people the idea, oh, if this is good enough, then I can do it too.
Ooh, that's actually a great tip. Yeah. Yeah, that's really a great tip.
It's sometimes we feel like people are watching our videos holding a red pen and paper and looking at what's wrong with it, but that's not at all the case. They're just meeting someone, and people do not pass judgment about your videos. They're just listening to what you're saying. So it feels like a conversation for the person watching the video. It's just weird if you are the person in front of camera and you have to look at the camera talking. It feels strange, but I always say, if you just breathe your way through that, relax, try to imagine somebody at the other side of the camera, then it is like a conversation, only the timing is different.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Yeah, I can really see that. I think I saw something, it might have been on your website. I'm not sure where I saw it, but how the growth that you had the minute you put yourself on video. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I started off, I used to work as a director and producer for television programs. So I did know about the power of being on camera, but I was always the one behind the camera. So I was like, oh, I'm not one of those people. And then I vividly remember the moment I stepped in front of it, because I thought, oh, I've got something to tell too. And so my first videos, I don't think I was breathing at all. I was like, but I had a big frozen smile on my face, and I had, my eyes didn't wink or anything. And I had like 2 of those videos on my website, and well, they didn't do a lot. But then I thought, I'm going to have to make some videos that are a little bit more interesting. So I started adding some extra shots to my videos, and that's actually right away people felt like, oh, she's fun. I had the first video, I only added 1 shot of me in a hammock, waving back and forth, 5 seconds, that was it. And people had a little laugh about that, and then they called me on the phone and they were like, hey, hi, and I thought, who are you? But they felt like they knew me, and they had seen a bit of my sense of humor, or a bit more of who I am. So I wasn't like a mannequin in front of the camera. They thought, this is a human being. I can work with her. And I was just amazed about how easy people have found it to start talking to me. And that's the strange part, because you don't know them, but they've seen your video, so they feel like they know you.
They know you.
But it was
yeah.
like breaking the ice. And for me, it was one and still a bit of a tough hour taping it. But then hundreds and thousands of people saw that one video, and they downloaded my ebook, and from there came the growth of my company.
Wow. So it's really interesting, like what a difference videos can make in your business, because people get, they get to know you, especially if you're not stiff, they really get to know who you are, and they know your personality. And I think it almost builds, what do you think, like a trust factor as well?
Very much. Yes. Because people feel like they know you. I usually speak to people who have already decided they want to work with me, which is good for me, because I am really bad at pitching, and I'm happy to be your guest, but I'm not the greatest seller in the world at all. But I usually speak to
we're gonna have to chit chat about that.
But I have my videos do my work for me. So people come to me and they know, they've seen my programs, they know what they want to do. They only want to see if I'm in real, if I'm in the videos, and in 10 seconds they can see I'm a really bad actor. So I'm like, what I'm like in real life is what I'm like in my videos. Yeah. So that makes, that helps me a lot, because, like I said, selling, not my best.
Oh, we're going to have to reframe that. But first off, I have to say, so one of the things that you said was that you hate selling. And so first off, I have to say, I think selling is a really great thing. But what's really great about videos is, in essence, when you're doing a video and people see it, is you're promoting yourself. So in essence, you're actually selling, because you're telling people who you are and the value that you have. And you do that literally every day in every interaction that you have out there, whether it's with your spouse or your kids or new people that you just don't know. It's something that you do every day. But when you do it on a video, you literally take the pitch part out and people get to know you. And there's that relationship that is so important there. So don't be afraid, and don't think that selling is a bad word, because it's really, really not. So I have a question for you, because you have written that you have 5 ways to capture your audience attention in 5 seconds. Mm-hmm. So tell me about that, because that sounds really juicy. Tell me.
Okay. Well, there's lots of different ways, but the first seconds, you need to get the attention. And I know, well, storytelling is a wonderful way to start a video. And one of the ways I love, and I see it work every time, is, and it sounds a bit childish, but it really works, to start your video with "once upon a time."
Ooh, really?
It's just 4 little words, and it's the start of a video, and people will really want to know how this story ends. It's something primitive in our brains or something that makes us, if we hear those words, we just sit down and say, well, tell us. So even that at the start of a video will make people prick up their ears and think, oh, what's this about? So that's a very easy way to start.
I have not heard of that. That's actually great.
Yeah.
Really great. I might have to use that. So when you guys hear me sometime in the future say "once upon a time," just know I got it from Elisabeth.
I use it. I see it every time I use it. I see like a much longer retention line in my videos.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me what else? What else is there?
Well, something else you can start a video with is if you have like a percentage or a demographic or something from the news. If you mention something like 20% of the people cannot understand the letters that the government sends, which we have in the Netherlands. 20% of the people apparently can't grasp what the government is trying to tell them because of the language the government is using. Well, if you say something like that, people are like, oh, really? Tell me more.
It's almost like a news clip, like, right before the news comes and they do a commercial, at 11, see the horse that jumped over something or whatever it might be.
It's got numbers in it. People are interested as well. And you can just look up some research that's done about your line of work. And there's usually something like 30% of entrepreneurs think their turnover will be lower in the next quarter. That as a first sentence will help people, and it's very neutral. Mm-hmm. It's again, no pitching, just telling people something. So that helps to catch people's attention as well. Okay. That's one. So it's just a matter of take 5 minutes. It takes about 5 minutes of Googling, and usually you've found something. I have once also made something up, and that's bad, of course, but I've noticed that people immediately also think that that's true. If you bring it with enough confidence, it sounds as a fact. So, but I would recommend that, of course, and it's even best if you can tell what the source of your information is so people can check it. So that's the second one. The third one is a really very much used way to start a video, and that's if you start with a question.
Which is what I actually did for this particular podcast, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So and it's been done a lot and it's very effective. So that's why a lot of people do it. I think it's a bit, well, I wouldn't, you just did it. But I would recommend not doing it every time. And there's one extra thing that I would recommend is to not start with 2 or 3 or 4 questions, which is what happens a lot, because then people get confused again. So, yeah, especially in a video, I think you should be very clear in your communication because people get to all see and hear. So you have to make it easy for people to remember. The fourth one, I think, would be to the English word for that. If you voice, it's not I just said the numbers, but now you can also say something like, if you say your opinion in one line, like, and this is just an example, if you say women can't play soccer. Okay.
So like a statement, almost making a statement. Yes.
I was looking for that word. A big, bold statement. Okay. Yes, because that also tends to rouse people's attention because sometimes they agree And then they're like, yes, I agree with it. And sometimes they don't agree, and they will be like, oh, I don't agree with that. So that gets a lot of attention.
Okay.
And you can choose yourself if it's a statement that you agree with or a statement that you do not agree with. So you set the tone for the video with the statement you choose.
That's a good one. I like that one a lot.
Yeah. So and it's a chance to voice your own opinion and tell people what you're aiming for. And then the last one is a YouTubey one, which works everywhere really. But I love YouTube and I've learned it there. And it's very short actually. You start your video saying, in this video I will, and then you tell people what you will teach them.
Yeah.
And lots of videos on YouTube start that way, and that's because you manage expectations.
It's almost like a how-to.
Yeah. And YouTube, of course, was started out really big with how-to videos, and it's what people expect. And people will, once they've learned what you told them, they will leave. So that's it.
That's right. They're going to want to watch the whole thing because they want to. They're like, oh, you're going to teach me how to do this? Let me just watch the whole thing then.
They will sit back and let it happen. And that's what you want. Because if you start off your video well, you will notice that people will not leave the video halfway because, well, the expectations are set and they will stay until the end. So it's always, and in YouTube especially, they count the first 30 seconds of the video. How many people who started have stayed? And well, I like it if people stay until the end because that's where my call to action is usually.
Yeah, me too. I like it when people watch the whole thing as well.
Yes. Yes.
That's great. No, that's really great. I mean, you have provided like some really unique things that I've never heard of. That once upon a time, I'm definitely going to have to use that. So it seems like to me that you are a rule breaker. So tell me why you're a rule breaker.
Did I break rules? I broke a couple of rules, I think. Yes. Or a couple of expectations at least. Yes. I became a single mother by choice. So that's a bit different from what most people do. And that really forced me to step up for myself as well. I don't think I would have stepped in front of a camera if I hadn't done that. But it helped me, and video helped me to build a business whilst staying home a lot. And I am not a big fan of going to network meetings and stuff like that. But being shy, I was always like, oh, I have to talk to strange people. And if I did it, I would be tired for the rest of the day. So just setting up a camera in my house, taking a painting of the wall. I just had a white background at first, and producing videos where many people tend to think it's difficult and it takes a lot of time. And I just started telling what I knew about video, and what shows is my enthusiasm, my love for video, my love for marketing. And that helped me gain a lot of reach in a short time, where in a way that most people think is weird or strange or scary. And it's still that people say, well, I'm going to do that one day. Where I think you have to get out the word to many people. But I just did it all myself. I had like one light, I had very simple equipment. And by making a lot of video instead of only a couple, I think there weren't any written rules for that, but that was very, very unusual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, so being a rule breaker is really just kind of pushing past your boundaries, which is something that you certainly did, because you pushed back, you pushed past your boundaries of like, oh, I don't want to get in front of the camera. And you put yourself in front of the camera. And the great thing about all of that is that you are helping other people with that too. as well. Because we all have rules, like internal rules and external rules. So I'm so happy that you've been here today. Tell me where people can find you.
Well, they can find me on YouTube, of course, because I've started to really enjoy my place in front of the camera. So I'm making almost weekly videos now. And my YouTube channel is Top of Mind Video Marketing with my name attached, Elisabeth Griffioen. I also have a website called topofmindvideomarketing.com. And I'm on Instagram as well with the same name.
Fantastic. Well, we'll make sure that all your information is in the show notes so that people can find you, because I think you can help a lot of people, whether you're shy or an introvert, or sometimes even the extroverts kind of don't want to be in front of the camera. So thank you again, Elisabeth, for being here. And I just have to take a moment just to say, for everyone that's out there, and I'm going to address today really the folks that maybe might be a little bit scared to get in front of the camera. I have to tell you that you are special. You're special just like Elisabeth. And she's a great example of, she did something, she broke her own rules and she went out there. And what she's doing is she's creating ripple effects, because she's doing something that helps other people, and you can do exactly the same thing. So again, everyone, thank you for joining us. I love you all, and be sure to subscribe to the channel, whether it's YouTube or all the different streaming podcast channels. Be sure to go ahead and subscribe. And of course, if you like this, please give us a 5-star review and grab your friend's phone and tell them about our podcast as well. Anyway, thanks again, and we will talk soon.